So, my immigrant father worked in or owned restaurants throughout my childhood. And when I was pretty young, that's me right there. Notice the mustache, unibrow, and braces. But the chefs in his kitchens would teach me and my sister how to cook. Needless to say, it was both free babysitting and labor for my father. But I ended up really loving the cooking. And as an adult, I just can't imagine cooking with a child, though. That's what scares me. What if they cut themselves? What if they burn down the kitchen? So that's what scares me.
I'm nervous about the mess because I'm shallow, but since kids need to eat, I guess they should learn to cook too. Here to help get more kids into the kitchen is Chef Sang Kim. Welcome, Shang. We love having you.
Hi, Jess. Hi, AJ. Thanks for having me.
Now, Sang, it's come to my attention very recently that I can be somewhat controlling in the kitchen, and I want things done like the right way, AKA my way. So the thought of letting kids cook kind of stresses me out. But here's the thing. You say that cooking with kids is one of your favorite things to do. Can you tell us why?
You know what? It is, and I'm very much like you. As long as you hold a knife in front of anybody, right, you get all the control that you want. I love cooking with kids, and the reason why, Jess, is because I grew up, of course, in housing projects throughout the city after we immigrated to Canada, and of course, spending a lot of time with kids doing stuff that we shouldn't be doing. And when it was time for me to just kind of go back to go into the restaurant business and notice that like these kids today, I was spending a lot of my youth and childhood pretty hungry toward the end of the month when my single mom's welfare check ran a little bit tight. And so I wanted to give back. And so I did a lot of work with kids through various organizations and my restaurant to build these kind of children's cooking type of events held to keep kids off the streets, from these high-risk, low-income communities.
Nice.
Saying that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I think now it's time to get cooking. Let's get cooking for these kids. And I think the first dish I ever made was like cheese melted on a cracker or cheese melted on a piece of white bread. So basically just like a carb and cheese. So I have a feeling I'm gonna love this dish. It's your French toast with sliced cheese and jam. Why is it such a great first dish for kids to make?
First of all, the kids love it, right? They love cheese, they love butter, they love jam, and this all kind of brings it all together. So we'll get started. The first thing that I'd like both of you to do is crack a couple of eggs, right?
Okay.
2 eggs, put it in a bowl, just like so. All right.
Good.
And this is a really easy way to teach kids how to crack eggs too, using the back of the knife. So they get used to all that. And then
sorry.
removing the shells because you made that mistake. All right. And then what you want to do is just beat it. You don't want to beat it too much or too hard.
Okay.
Just want to beat it, right? Don't scramble it too much. And then once you've done that, let's toss a pinch of salt in there. And we're just going to put that to the side for a second, okay?
Okay.
In the meantime, what I'm going to do is turn on your stove. I'm going to put mine on to...
Hey, while we turn on our stoves and get it ready, what's the number one, because I think a lot of people worry about kids and stoves. That's a common concern. So what's like the number one sort of safety rule when it comes to stove for kids?
The number one thing is to make sure that they have stuff that's going to keep their hair. So fedora hats are always useful. Keep their hair away from flame. And then also, of course, to make sure that whatever's hanging, like their shirt or stuff like that, they want to put an elastic band and just wrap it over it, like
that's
so.
a good reminder.
Okay. So here's the situation. What I want you to do is I want you, of course, to cut the bread in half, like so. And then take 2 pieces of processed cheese.
Ooh.
And what I want you to do is, you will not believe this. Hold on. Believe it or not, my flame. It's always happening on live television. Believe it or not.
Something else.
You know what?
Flame went out.
Chef, while you're looking at your flame, maybe Kwame can come check mine too, because I'm just not sure if mine's on as well.
I think mine's on. This is exciting, guys.
Live TV, everybody.
Yeah, this is...
Is that okay?
And Sam, if you can't get it, you could be like a true leader and just walk us through how to do it. What do you think
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
So what I'd like you to do is now take the egg that you've just beaten. You wanna put a little stub
Little
of
butter.
butter.
Let's get
Okay,
that in there.
just place it. Yep. And let it melt. Get it all over the plate, okay? Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm looking at what you guys are doing there. It might be a little high, so you may want to turn down the heat a little bit, right?
Okay.
But then, once you have that, I want you to pour the egg
Eggs.
Eggs
over it.
into it.
Right. And then what I want you to do is I want you to move the eggs around so that it covers that whole bottom, okay? So move it around quick, and then quickly grab your slices of bread,
Okay.
dip it in one side, flip it over, take the other bread, dip it in one side, flip it
Love.
over. Look at this. You guys are using like two hands. That's amazing. And then this is the perfect time. Right now, you want to move your pan so that you're seeing that the whole egg piece starts shifting. If it starts to shift, then what I want you to do is I want you to use your spatula, pick up the whole thing from underneath, right? Pick it up from underneath, and then just flip the whole egg with the bread over.
Oh,
my
I see. But we put the
gosh.
cheese in first,
Yeah.
right? Cheese in first?
Sorry?
Should we put the
No,
cheese on?
no,
No, cheese comes in.
No,
Okay,
you,
okay.
you. Let's flip it first.
Okay, here
Okay,
we go.
let's.
Okay.
Okay, I'm seeing some beautiful work here.
Okay.
Flip
my
over
God.
the whole thing. Yep.
Got it.
Okay, yeah.
So that's good. All right. So okay. So what I want you to do now.
Yeah.
Wait. So AJ, have you flipped yours over the whole thing?
My whole thing's over. My two flat breads are flat on the other side. now.
Beautiful. So
Yeah.
so let's go to AJ's.
Okay.
And then AJ, what I want you to do is to put 2 pieces of cheese
Okay.
on one of the slices of bread.
Oh,
Okay.
shoot.
Okay.
Just on one side. Mine are actually
Yeah, on one
lactose-free
side.
cheese because I'm lactose.
That's right.
But okay.
And then on the other side, what I want you to do is I want you to take your jam and I
Okay.
want you to spread some jam over it.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So with you Jess, what you want to do is you probably want to separate the two. AJ, good for you. This is what happens when you're
think I
dealing with somebody
really
who's
messed
got
up.
restaurant experience.
Yeah,
She
this
likes
is
her
so
jam, that's
sad.
for sure.
This is why I was
No
front of
kid-
house, not in the kitchen. Wow.
Well, chef,
So now
yeah.
AJ, what I want you to do now is take one of those 2 pieces and flip it over on top of the other. So let's say you take the strawberry jam one or the
piece of
cheese
bread.
Okay.
and flip it over on top of the cheese. Yeah, there you go. Flip it over on top.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Done.
And then done. And then lift up the whole thing and flip the whole thing over so that it toasts the other side as well. There. Jess,
Ooh,
are
I
you with
like
us
that
here
sound.
now?
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is, Sang, I had to, I really got lost without, I was not listening. I was basically behaving poorer than a child because I only did 1 piece of bread. So I'm kind of
Oh,
improvising.
look at that.
You catching up?
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then once you've done that, you don't want to grill it too long on that side. You want to flip the whole thing over.
Okay.
And then let's plate it, ladies. We'll plate it.
Okay.
And I have mine.
Where do I
Right.
plate it?
Or
Yeah.
you could just you probably have one that's already
So-
done for you over there.
So, chef, as I plate this, I should mention I'm 9 years older than my younger sister. And so when we were growing up in my dad's restaurants, I had to make sure that her little fingers never got cut and kept the knives out of reach. But kids do need to learn basic knife handling, right? So when they're going to start cooking, how should adults teach kids about knives? What do they need to know?
Well, I think the most important thing is there's 2 things. There's grip, right? Making sure that you're teaching them how to hold the knife properly. What I always tell kids is you want to press one side of the blade, right? And I'm using a short blade ceramic knife so that the whites of their thumbnails show through. And then, of course, your index finger hitches onto the other side of the handle and making sure that the handle fits very, very snug in the palm. The second most important thing, and I always tell kids, don't be afraid, take your thumbs and just rub it over the edge of the blade and make sure that you understand that it's only with dull knives that you're going to get injured.
Right.
So sharp knife is really critical. Now, you ladies have plated it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while we
Just cut
dig
it.
in and try this, Sang, will you tell us while we're eating how this recipe became part of your family's repertoire growing up?
Yeah, you know what? Unlike a lot of other, we didn't have great organizations like Breakfast Club of Canada back then, right? All I had was insults from the kids at school saying we don't like the smell of your kimchi sandwiches, and so it was with my mom. We said, "Hey, mom, please, can you give us the same food that everybody else is eating?" And that's how the French toast came into our family tradition, and we love
Saying,
it.
what a
How is it?
beautiful story. This is delicious.
Oh my gosh, this is really.
I think
tastes
now
like
you've
candy.
introduced it and it's going to be part of my family repertoire. So thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing this delicious recipe to get kids cooking. Now listen, for Saying's full recipes, be sure to follow us on social media at the Social CTV after the show.